I'm going to get flagged if I don't put this down a little bit, but I figure since it's the season, I'm going to start playing my favorite holiday album of all time. Hello, everybody. My name is Alyssa Cooper, and I am here cooking in quarantine. And I've come a little early today just because I've grown frustrated of waiting for the noon hour to come along. So I have so much to talk about today. I'm going to start out by telling you what the week is going to be. You know, we've been doing soups and stews, and I'd meant to do that really for a very long time, but then I realized that Thanksgiving has interrupted us. So this week I'm going to be prepping. If the New York Times is not your local newspaper as it is for me, you may or may not be familiar with Melissa Clark, who is a contributor to the cooking section of the New York Times. And she published, I don't know if it's brand new or just this week, but I found it this weekend, a one pan, one pot, 3-hour Thanksgiving. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do it all on Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to break it up a little bit into more manageable bits so that then when it's Thanksgiving morning, all I have to do is start popping things in the oven. So here's the plan that makes it so simple. So instead of a whole turkey, we're going to do a turkey breast, and I got one with rib meat. And we're going to marinate that overnight in kind of a salty brine with thyme and garlic. And then it goes into the oven with mustard, mayonnaise, and bacon woven all over the top of the skin. So that's going to keep that nice and moist. It's going to go on to a sheet pan. I'm going to throw probably some celery stalks and some carrots that are probably going to be laying around that need to be used to create my rack under there for it. Then about halfway through, when you've got all of those pan drippings on, we're going to toss on some Brussels sprouts. So they're going to cook beautifully in the turkey drippings and the bacon drippings right there on that pan. No need for a second pan. Now, the way I see this is it's going to take a second pan because of the way I like to do a couple of things, and I'm probably going to want it to come together a little faster. Another thing is that we'll make our dressing rather than stuffing, right? That'll go in a pan on the stove top. And so will then our gravy. But I'm today going to start out, because this stuff only gets better the longer it sits. Our friend, the cranberry. My favorite part of Thanksgiving is dressing. And I like dressing over stuffing because I like it to get crunchy and have the crunchy bits as well as the soft, mushy bits, with gravy and a little bit of the cranberry sauce kind of melting into the gravy with each bite. That's my favorite of the Thanksgiving meal. So, I got a couple of more things to talk about. So, so that's our sides. And then for the sweet potatoes, we're going to do little individuals. Hello, Miss Kel. We're going to do little individual baked sweet potatoes that once they're done, I'll split them and I'll put a little cinnamon, nutmeg, nut, brown sugar kind of crumble, like you would do a crumble on a tart on there. Throw those under the broiler and let those finish there. So that now hers suggests marshmallows. I don't care for the marshmallows at all. So there's that. So I'm going to get started here. And the first thing I'm going to say is, boys and girls, this is going to be a weird Thanksgiving. So take extra good care of yourself. Have a glass of wine at lunch this week. Cook a little bit each day so that you don't get overwhelmed the day of or feel like, what am I doing all of this for when it's just the two of us, or when my college kid is locked in the basement on quarantine. So there's that. So take care of yourselves. This is going to be a weird week. And Kel, if you've noticed, I now have this in navy and this teddy bear color because I coveted the one that you had so much, but they only have them in extra, extra large, and I would be lost in that. So one thing I'm going to say to you is, if you're not watching The Undoing, you are missing something really great. And number two, what I did this morning was I got up and I got the hone out so that I could make sure that all my knives are sharp. One holiday, my mother handed me a pile of sweet potatoes and said, here, peel these, and gave me a paring knife that was so worn down and the blade so obviously pitiful from what it originally been, it wouldn't have cut melted butter. And so I immediately left the house and went and bought my mother some more knives. So get your knife sharp so that you don't get, weepy and sad because your forearms are hurting because you have dull knives that you're trying to work with. So this morning I've already gotten up and I've washed and rinsed my cranberries. I've zested a lemon and two oranges. And I have taken a knob of ginger about the size of my two thumbs together, and I've grated that up real nice. Now I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to put this now and let this spend the next few minutes here in with my 3/4 cup of sugar so that my sugar can kind of start to get flavored and pull some of the juices and the oils out into the sugar. I don't know if this is a real step or this is just something that I'm fantasizing about, but I like it in the same way that when I make my fast and easy guacamole, all I do is put salt on minced Bermuda onions, and after they start to sweat, I throw in some avocado. So anyway, I'm just going to do this because this can't be bad, I don't think. I would have done this earlier, but I thought that this would be fun to do while you watched. I love this idea. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like this a lot. Now I want to use this. Ooh, now I want to use this as a base to make cookies. Oh, yeah, that would. Kelly, can I do that? Can you tell me, can we put the deliciousness into our sugar and then use flavored sugar to make things? Oh, I don't know anything about baking. That's why you've seen me make, I think, exactly one baked thing, and that was the madeleines I made the other day. So there's that. All of that sugar sucking up all of the oils out of there. And so I have here, da-dum-da-dum-dee-dee. Can we see? I gotta back up some. So, cheers to me. The cook always gets the first glass, I say. So here we go. Now I have my juicer here, just to make it easier, and because I like to use toys, although it could really use a longer cord, I think. So I've got my small attachment on, and this is a good one. I like this little guy. It was very inexpensive, but it will, when you lift up and it changes directions, so you really get a super clean juice. I think I paid $16 for this at Bed Bath & Beyond. And I love it. Although it took us to keep clean, boys and girls, because of all these grooves and things. But it's so much easier than juicing a lot at once. I keep smelling things because I think everybody around me has already started cooking also. And so I'm like, why? I woke up this morning, I'm like, why do I think I smell rosemary in the air? And I got up and I realized that they've set up the Christmas tree stand downstairs. So that's the source of some cinnamon and some, and the smell of evergreen in the air, right? So I'm getting all of this juiced up real nice. And you can do it whether you like, if you like pulp, open your grate and let the pulp in. If you do not like pulp, you can even sieve this through if you like, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a pretty pulpy pot of cranberries over here. So I'm going to say a few things here about what's going on. I am not leaving my zip code until at least January. That's my plan. I mean, unless I absolutely have to leave my zip code, but my real plan is to stay here Thanksgiving, Christmas, really not to go much of anywhere. And that's because I love my parents and I don't think that I can travel safely enough to go and be in their townhouse with them. Back when we lived in the big house, I could have stayed 12 feet away from everybody at all times. But that is not the case anymore. So I'm going to stay here and I'm going to learn how to make new and exciting things. And then when nobody can travel anymore because half the country is sick, maybe I'll fly home in January or drive home or something. So anyway, that said, to those kids who are traveling home, we talk about the demise of our culture and our moral core as Americans. We've talked a lot about that over these last years. And I know that not all kids get the same kind of religious upbringing that kids maybe in my generation did. And I also know that cuts in schools mean that kids don't get to study philosophy and ethics. And so I'm just going to say this. All of your schools are making you get tested before you come home to protect the rest of your family members. I remember being home from college, whether it was fall break or spring break or Thanksgiving or Christmas. I couldn't wait to see my friends. I'm one of those people that I still talk. I just talked all night last night on text with 4 girls I grew up with and went to school with from first grade on. So I understand, kids. I understand how excited you are to see your old friends. But this is not the time. This is not the time to say maybe it'll be okay, maybe I can go and be a little careful, or maybe I can go to this party, maybe I can, but you can't, kids. You just can't. It is not fair. It is wrong. And I'm not going to say that it's immoral. And that's one of my problems with religious morality versus ethics, is that religion is always, in my view, the trade for living an ethical, a moral life in this earth, and you ostensibly get some prize in the next life. Well, I really think that doing good is a gift unto itself. And so that's why I am more a believer in ethics, because ethics is doing what's right all the time. Okay? So you have to do what's right. Even if it's bad for you, you have to do what's right. You have to tell the truth. If your test didn't come back yet, you stay in the basement. If your test came back positive, you stay in the basement. You don't go to parties. You don't eat in the table. You don't go upstairs. Kids, this is not a joke. And if you don't believe that, after 10 months, you're going to blow it. You're going to kill your whole damn family. For what? Seeing your high school friends? Screw that. Be a decent person. Be good for the sake of being good. Being good is its own reward. Do what's right. We live in this post-truth society in which everybody seems to think that they can bend the truth whenever they want for their own benefit. See, Mom, I caught myself and I didn't swear. So anyway, let's go back to a pre-falsehood world. Be honest, tell the truth, and think about somebody other than yourself. So that was my rant for the day. And I am going to take my little bit of juice here and see how much I have here to go over and see if it's enough to cover my sweet little cranberries. And it's not, but I'm pretty sure that I've got a little juice left over from the weekend in here that I can. But I do have another orange over here if I wanted to juice another. Let's see what happens. Da-dum, da-dum. I do have a little bit more juice. And it's a really good, high quality, organic, fresh, never frozen brand. So there I've got that going. And now I'm going to put my delicious, delicious, yummy. Ooh, you guys look at that. That's even started to like gum up in the bottom of the, oh, this is going to be so good. So, oh, it smells so good. And so I've got in here, like I said, ginger, sugar, lemon, and an orange zest, and orange and lemon juice. And I'm just gonna mix all that in together. And then I'm just gonna turn the heat on under here. And I'm gonna let this come up to, oops, let's don't get that missed piece of sugar that fell out. And I'm just gonna bring that up until the cranberries start to pop. Take it off the heat. Bada bang, you're done. It's delicious. Just licking my fingers is delicious. So, that is step one, and that is step for today, because that's the only thing that really, I feel like, can sit over 2 nights. And so tomorrow what we'll do is we'll prep the turkey with its stage 1, rubbing it down with garlic and thyme and salt and pepper, and get it covered and put back in to chill overnight. And then I'm thinking I might also tomorrow go ahead and put together the dressing, because I like to do my dressing in balls, because that will, and I like to spread them out so that they get like 3 sides of, actually 4 sides of crunchy if you get them spaced right. And I like that so much, and I might go ahead and get that. Certainly get my fine diced up, and my anything that needs to go in there. But other than that, I think, it's really going to be simple. I might go ahead and get my nut and brown sugar topping ready to go for the sweet potatoes. And I got this little bag just because this is what they had, and they have all these little tiny ones. And I thought how sweet they would be, right? You could go back and get a second one if you wanted one. And the only thing I haven't figured out yet is, because you guys know I'm not a dessert eater, I don't know what I'm going to do for dessert. I really had hoped that when I went to Trader Joe's today, those wonderful gingerbread sticks that I love so much, I was really hoping they would have arrived so that I could make a super quick gingerbread trifle. But alas, they're not there yet. So I'm going to kind of cover that up. And that's all we know how to do, boys and girls. And I thank you all for coming and joining me. I hope you all are taking care, being careful. Please, guys, we're so close to the end. My friend sent me a TikTok just a few minutes ago that people were asking Dr. Fauci questions. And somebody came on camera and said, will the gays ever be able to brunch again? And Dr. Fauci giggled, as he so sweetly does, and says, yes, and I'll even come brunch with you. So, boys and girls, as I told my girls, my high school girls night before last, I want them to all have their tickets booked and come here and visit me the minute our second vaccine is in our arm. So, all of you, come visit me. The light is at the end of the tunnel. Don't lose it now. See you tomorrow, boys and girls. Be good.